Thank you, Cornsey, and welcome to the From the 108 podcast.
Who?
Get ready for some baseball, beer, and bullshit. And remember the drinking rules. If BeefLoaf says allegedly or that he wrote a blog about it, you drink.
Ooh, it's coming, baby.
If my
Oh,
sock summer
man.
doesn't know a player
God.
or mentions his time on the West Coast, you drink.
Get ready.
Yeah, that first one
This
is
is
going to
definitely
be
gonna
it's
happen.
Gonna be, it's going to be a heavy pour. If I swear or say here's the thing, you drink. BeefLoaf, how you doing tonight, brother?
You know what? I'm a little disgruntled tonight. I got to be honest with you.
Good.
It's
Fuck you.
projection season, and one thing I always notice in projection season is that some people, for lack of a better term, like to project their own feelings onto the projections. You get a lot of puffy-chested sort of my team's being disrespected, and a lot of I'm smarter than those nerd computers. Which, no offense to all you that say this stuff, that's stupid stuff to say, and you're acting very stupid by saying it. I don't throw that term around very often. I'm not a guy who says things are dumb or people are dumb, even though those things exist. I so rarely hear with regard to, pagoda projections or Zips projections coming out like, oh, cool, I might learn something new about my favorite team with this projection. And it gets me wondering, Terezi and my Sock Summer, do people walk around in their everyday life saying this shit about everything? Do you never look at something that someone's put like 1,000 hours into and think, you know what? This is pretty well thought out, more well thought out than anything I've ever done. Maybe I could learn a little something from this. Maybe this is going to show me something I've missed. That's usually my approach after I kick one of my cats because Pacoda says the Sox are only going to win 83 fucking games this year. What do you guys think about it?
Well, I mean, I don't know how you follow that up. I don't have any cats to kick. I only have kids to kick. So that's usually
Even
who
better.
I kick. But no, I don't know. I don't get it. Like, I know that it is a disrespect thing, but it is also the same people that feel somewhat slighted and disrespected by this have been trashing the team for not doing anything. And basically what those projections say is they didn't do enough in the offseason to get above third place in our division. So you can't be on both sides. You can't be on both sides. You have to pick one side. You either like, yes, they're totally fucking right because they didn't do what they needed to do. Not, okay, they didn't know what they needed to do, but they're still going to the goddamn World Series. So fuck you, Petco. I don't know.
Petco.
Whatever.
I love the Petco. Beef, my favorite argument that gets thrown out there, or it's not even an argument, it's just a statement when people are like, well, this is why they play the games. And it's like, that's right. You are admitting right now what you're trying to do is incredibly fucking hard. And you've written algorithms and you have machine learning programs to try and make this work.
Yes.
But it's stupid because it's tough. So like,
absolutely.
Like, I mean, like, when you start to look at it and you start to look at each team and like what they did last year and what you expect them to do this year, just in your mind, and that which is incorrect, because if you were correct, you would just go mop up all the gambling sites.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But so you look at all of that and you go, how could anyone figure this out? And then when someone tries, you go, that's fucking terrible. You did an awful job.
Tracy, you and I have tried this from so many different angles to try to get people to understand. Like, we put out another blog this year where you basically sort of showed people that, like, if you just move the knob a little bit on some of these players, it snaps closer to what maybe you think, or one little tick this way, and that's why they're saying it's not going to be as good as you think it's going to be. And then I tried to do it last year with showing people how much they project shit in their own life. And not even using a model or a computer, anything as sophisticated as one of these things. And it just doesn't sink in. People just don't get, people just want to yell in the streets about shit they know nothing. I mean, the real approach, if you're like, I don't agree, don't even pay attention to it. Like, you just ignore it if it drives you that goddamn nuts.
No, that's not the way that this works.
I know I can't predict what's going to happen. Otherwise, I would have accurately predicted the James Shields Cy Young or the Nomar Mazara 3 home runs in 5 days. Like, this is not my forte. And I realize that. But like, that's why when we did talk about it, mostly what I talked about was, look, if you're trying to make a prediction, you want as much information as possible to make that prediction. And when you look at the Sox, you probably have out of all the teams in the major leagues that should be good, they're one of the teams that you have the least information about because they've only been good for like 1 year. That year was a shortened year. And now one of basically their DH is going to be a guy who we have no data on. Like you can't even call what we have on him usable data.
I agree.
And so you're just making a guess. There's no way that the people at Baseball Prospectus are going to go, well, you know what? We'll let it all ride on this guy. We have no information on. Like
Exactly.
so they're gonna go towards, you know, like, well, he's gonna be, you know, kind of bad. You know, he's just gonna he's gonna do what most rookies do if they come straight from AA and jump in the league and took a year off basically.
Right.
Like they're not gonna be great.
He's gonna
Like,
crush.
it's
bro.
gonna take a while for him to get ramped up and do anything.
No, I
you know,
disagree completely. Andrew Vaughn is gonna hit 47 home runs before the All-Star break. That's all I have to say.
That's a lie.
And they'll. Oh, I'm sorry.
Actually, the Sox Machine guys brought up your 74 home run projection.
I mean,
Treasy. I think they're feeling it a little bit. They don't want to go quite that high, but they're feeling it, I think.
Pacoda missed on that one. We'll say that.
It was the only one they screwed up.
That's the only one I had a problem with. 74 home runs, 81 wins. That's where we're gonna land. My Sox summer.
That'd be great. So I got a lot of things that I could talk about. And one of the things Loaf just brought up, and it was, why do people care about things that they have, like, that doesn't bother them? But I'm not going to talk about that. Okay. Politically, socially, sports, whatever. I don't understand why people bring up stuff that they just want to bitch about. I don't know if you guys have been paying attention, but the White Sox have been running a tournament on their Twitter of the greatest of all time White Sox teams, right? So they stacked all these different teams, all the different years, and they put them up against each other. You guys haven't been paying attention, right?
I've kind of seen it. They call it like the GOAT tournament, and they're doing it in like a video game system.
I saw they were doing it. It
is?
I had no interest in this either, so I have not really paid attention.
Oh, I thought they were voting against each other.
I haven't voting. I don't know. I thought you knew. I only saw it, but I thought it was a video game thing.
I thought it was your voting.
I'm not sure.
And I'm somewhat I see. Okay, so I'm not 100% sure. This is why I should do research before I get in on this. But I swear to God, I thought it was like White Sox had teamed up to determine. Oh well, okay. So all right, okay, that makes a little bit more sense. But here's what here's what I was gonna bitch about.
I like that you introed it with people bitching about things they don't know anything about, and then you start bitching about something you have no idea.
No, not people can bitch about things they don't know anything about. People shouldn't bitch about things that don't affect them. Like it's ridiculous to me. Like I was watching people are like, somebody had said, oh, they're changing verbiage in something of like it's something that I was like, this person doesn't give two shits about this, and they're just like, the fucking PC motherfuckers. No, I was looking at this and I thought that people were voting for this, and I was very confused while we were down to the final two teams, and neither one of those teams won a World Series. Like the 1972 White Sox did not even come close to winning a World Series. They didn't even win their division, and they're in the finals. And then 1954 team beat out the 2005 team, which, I mean, come on, I don't understand this. Yeah. So I thought this was people voting. Now I'm a little less shocked by what's going on here. All-time My Sox summer moment, I guess. Once again, I got up early. I know no one cares, but I felt like shit completely all day today, but I'm still here. But yeah, this is just, it's like defending. It's just insane. Okay. Now this makes more sense though. So now I have nothing else to talk about. I did blast out a poll. If you go to our Twitter, and I know the chat's not working in the YouTube.
That's not us. That's a YouTube problem.
Yeah. I'm trying to from the actual dashboard, I can get into it. So I'm trying to see what we got to do here.
So what I posted up a website, and yes, I posted up a web poll. I posted up a blog too to go along with that. So you go to our blog, you can go see, and you can vote for which wallet chain I will purchase from China off of eBay. So go forth, go check out the poll. go take a look at the pictures. I have 3 different selections that you can take a look at, and choose which one you think is the best. And I think the poll ends in 60 minutes. I was supposed to be 108 minutes, and I had to redo it twice. And so that's just how my day's been going. So
My sucks summer. I got a question for you. I mean,
yeah.
the chain wallet thing. I mean,
Yeah.
you're a 48-year-old man. Isn't it
I
time to
know,
give up the goddamn
48.
chain wallet? You're pushing 50.
So,
Is it time to get rid of the childish things at
It's
this
gotten
point?
to the point. It's gotten to the point, Mr. Loaf, that I'm doing it just because people say shit about it. And they're just like, isn't it time not to have this? And I'm like, the fuck it is. Listen, I got an edge to me. I'm still hardcore. I want my fucking wallet chain on. And now I'm at the point where I'm old enough that I can go in anywhere wearing that chain, and they're not really worried that I'm going to use it to kill somebody, because they're like, it's just a big fat fluffy white guy. He's not going to hurt anybody with this. As like a rebellious teenager with a Marlboro Light sticking out of my mouth, so, drinking on a Bud Light. Yeah, maybe they were worried, but now
Yeah,
You're a skinny little bitch. You weren't going to kill nothing.
Recent history has definitely told us that overweight white people are not anything to worry about.
I want to know how many times
anything in the news that would make me think
Listen,
otherwise.
Treasy, I must have missed the chain wallet murder series. I
know.
didn't see it. I must have missed that.
I want to see the chain that you used to carry. Were there like
No,
spikes on it? Was it like a mace?
No.
Did you have a
People
were you
just, like-
swinging a mace? Like
No, when you would go into concerts and stuff, guys would give
Oh,
you
yeah.
shit about it. Like,
Yeah.
you bring it in. When
Yeah,
you
'cause-
we got let into an adult entertainment club, a men's entertainment club, or not men's. What do they call it? A gentleman's club. Gentleman's club. That's one of those things. That's how long it's been, folks. And we walked in the back, and the guy was patting us down, and he touched the chain, and he goes, "Hey, just could you tuck that in for me?" And I was like, "Why? Are you afraid I'm gonna choke a bitch?" And then the guy was like, "Ah, real funny, And I was like, "Yeah, no, I'm serious, No, I wasn't serious.
How dare you?
Another caveat to that story is that we got dropped off we went out with some guys that were running numbers, and it was a good time, and they took care of everything. And the first night, I swear to Christ, the guy dropped $40,000. It was just an insane fun time. So anyway, we are at this club. We walk into the back. We go through the back entrance, and we walk into this private area. And my buddy Neil, rest in peace, goes, "What are all those people doing in our seats?" And they're all girls. They're all dancers, just sitting there waiting for us to come in to make drinks for us and entertain us. And one of the guys goes, "Neil, those are the girls for us." And Neil goes, "Oh, okay, yeah, what's up?" And it was like real funny. It was just so funny because everyone knew what was going on except for Neil. Neil thought somebody had taken her spot, and he was very mad and wanted them to get out. But that's who we were there to see, so they stayed. So it was good. It was a good time.
I don't believe
They're
it.
easy. Is the chat fixed?
We all
It's
have
fixed,
stories.
yeah.
So how are you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good. So, you guys probably know this, because I wrote a blog about this. The Foo Fighters have a new album out, and we have a mutual friend who's like probably the biggest Foo Fighters fan I know, and probably rivals anyone that I've ever met in Foo Fighter fandom. And he does not like the new album. He's not into it. Like he's messaging me about how shitty it is. And I was like, "Well, I'm listening to this track right now. It's pretty good." He's like, "Yeah, that's the only one you should listen to. Don't listen to the rest of it." Right? And so
it's impressive.
So my question to you guys is, think of a band that you really like and give me an album that they made where you were just like, I'm out on this. This is crap.
Oh, damn. That's an extremely tough question. That's man. You got one?
Go? Yeah.
You got one top of mind? Go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah. And this says more about me than it does about the band. But like anything post Vitalogy for Pearl Jam, I was just like, "Nah, man, I don't want to talk. I don't want to listen to this." Like, and it wasn't necessarily Pearl Jam's fault. And the song, they have some good songs on some of those records. I've listened through them and I've just been kind of meh. But like, I wanted 10. You could have released 10, 14 times, and I probably would have loved every fucking. You could have just changed words, and I would have been like, "This is a great record." But like, because I hated Versus when it came out, and now it's probably my favorite album by them. And Vitalogy I liked when it came out, so it was obviously a subpar album. But like I've told you guys this before, if I like something fresh out the gate, it's usually not good, or it's not inventive. If I don't like it and I'm like I have to get used to it, then I probably it's probably good. But yeah, like Pearl Jam after Vitalogy, I just was dropped off big time. And like, and then the other band that was thinking just in my head was Weezer, like post Pinkerton. Like I was like, I don't like anything other than this. I don't like this anymore. Blue Album, perfect. Pinkerton, I got
Oh,
used to it.
Pinkerton's really good.
Right, but the one, like
yeah,
the next record after that, it just was like a big pile of shit. So it wasn't good. So like that was Hash Pipe. I think it was like the Green Album or whatever. I was like,
I think for me, like I really liked Radiohead, and then when it got to Amnesiac, it was just like they were going on a trek, and it was like, oh, this is cool, inventive, and then it was just like, this is just weird shit. It's not really that much music, so I'm out. I'm gonna. You keep doing what you're doing. I'll go back to these albums that I like prior to this.
So Beef, it's interesting. Is I also had a Radiohead album on mine, right? But it's funny because the same dude who's mad about the Foo Fighters album right now. We used to. This is way back in the day when a new album would come out and you wouldn't wake up in the morning and go, oh, I've got it on Spotify, I'm going to listen to it. You would go to the record store at midnight and get the new album or the
Tower
new
Records.
CD. Yeah, and so Tower Records, it had I think it was Rinaldi's underneath, yeah. And yes, I was like, I think I was probably like 19 or 20, something like, I think it was 20. And I just remember me and him were down there drinking beers. We had like they sold like these yards of beer, and so it was like a yard of High Life. And if you're wondering, I did say 20, but I mean it's Chicago, so it was all right. And so we went upstairs, and there was 2 albums that I wanted same night, and there was a new Green Day album, and then Radiohead had Kid A come out. Okay. And I remember I got home, it was like 1 a.m, and I'm like, I'm going to listen to both of these albums tonight. I listened to both of them that night, and I was like, both of these suck. Why did I wait up for this? And like both the Kid A's grown on me more than the Green Day album. I forget which Green Day album it was. It was like Warning or something.
Okay.
Which, yeah, it's
Nimrod.
I think it might have been Nimrod. I don't know, but
because the Heart one was okay. Like
that's way later.
That's okay.
That's way late. That's like 20 years ago, but it's way later.
I know.
But yeah, I remember I was like so disappointed in both of those that I was like, why the fuck did I do that? And now I look back on it and I'm like, man, I wish that still existed. Even to get a shitty album, that would be awesome.
Yeah, the anticipation was so fun. Like, oh man, the record store is going to open and you're going to get that. It was always Tuesday too. Was the big releases were on Tuesday. That's when day you're going to get it.
So it was Monday night.
Monday night for you, when you at midnight.
And what was cool about it, it was like you felt it's a good way to feel like an elitist, like you have something before everybody else, because like generally, like now everyone gets everything at the same time, right? Like when shows come out on Disney Plus or something, I just stay off social media so that I can make sure that I don't see anything about it and then watch it.
Yeah.
Like back then it was like, you just go out, and if you're willing to pay for that record, you're the first dude to hear it in your area.
Yeah.
Yep. And so I do miss that. I think that would be cool. I don't know that I would still do it very often, but I think that I would still, every once in a while, there'd be an album that came out that I'd probably do that for. I probably would have done it for the Foo Fighters album with that dude, and we'd both be sitting there going, what the fuck is this shit? Why did we stay up for this?
I would think, Terezi, that you would do it on a night we were at the park. Maybe you'd had too many drinks, you don't have work the next day, and you're like, oh fuck, they're dropping the new, Social Distortion. I'm gonna go check it out. Who knows? I don't know. I just threw Social Distortion out there. I don't know why. It's just Wallet Chain is in my head, so I'm thinking Social Distortion.
I just imagine waking up in the Uber in the middle of Lincoln Park, and they're like, and I'm like, where the fuck are we? And like, you told me to take you to Tower Records. It doesn't exist anymore, but here we are.
And you're clutching CDs.
Kicking me out of the car. I'm taking his CDs out of his car. All right.
That's good shit.
I want to know what you fellas are drinking.
I'll go first.
Go for it.
I have finished, or kind of finished. I poured out. I like to pour out my drinks before we start, so I don't have to maneuver too much. The Pinnacle vodka, which everyone was telling me is really nasty. It tastes fine when it's floating in some squirt, which I'm also doing today.
Squirt.
And I'm using my Sox Machine coffee mug, so it's like I'm drinking Hennigan's, and no one can really tell. Now I got a little backup in reserve. When I run out of the Pinnacle vodka, I've got the UV blue vodka.
I mean, you are at the bottom shelf in it, man. I'm proud of you.
This has been at my house. No lie. This has been at my house at least 5 years, and it was opened already. Someone had drank that much of it, and so I just was looking at it. I'm like, well, let's just give it a shot. We'll see how it's raspberry. I smelled it and made sure there are no floaters before I decided that I'm going to have some. It smells delicious. I almost feel like I could drink it right out of the bottle.
That's how good it smells. Do it. It's not like you have to go to work tomorrow.
Maybe later on in the show, as I start mowing down. Maybe when we get to our final segment, maybe I'll be feeling a little frisky there. I want to do it.
You know what, Beef? I'm disgusted by you.
What else is new, you asshole?
My Sock Summer, are you not drinking antifreeze? That's my question to you.
I am not. I'm actually drinking that Rheingeist. I think it's Rheingeist. I think that's what it's called. Yep. Rheinheist or whatever. It's the barrel aged mole ink. It's a imperial stout aged in bourbon barrels with spices and natural flavors. And unfortunately, I have really plowed through this bottle really quickly, so I might have to get another bottle. And I'm kind of letting this one warm up a little bit because it's like I can smell it. I just haven't been able to taste the spices, and I want to taste the spices. So I'm going to actually probably drink another barrel aged something or another that's probably in the back room over here. So I'm going to go take a piss. I'm going to go take a piss outside, and I'm going to get a beer. So.
I cannot wait for like the middle of the show. My Sock Summer knocking over boxes and shit, looking for a beer and whatever dark cavern is back there where he hoards his beer. But so you're back.
It's the extension.
You're back is what you're telling us.
I drank last
one. Your hunger strike is
show.
over. You had 3 beers last show.
Yeah,
I were like, I can only have 3 beers.
What was the 13%er though? For Christ's sake, it's not like I was. Come on.
Don't 3 whole beers he had for us last time.
I fucking hate you guys sometimes. What are you drinking, Chorizy? Natural Villain from Goose Island.
I've got a couple. Yeah. Oh wow, you're really going at the sponsor there.
Yeah, really.
So I got the Natural Villain.
It's nice. That's a good
tonight.
one.
And then I got
good.
I'm kind of clearing out everything that I've got in my fridge. So I've got kind of a mishmash of some Rev beers and Natural Villain.
Do you have any Boone's Farm Blue Hawaiian in there?
No, I did not know we were supposed to have blue drinks tonight. So I did not get a bottle of Blue Hawaii, which is the best blue wine on the market.
That's right. That's actually true. I'll be honest with you. I'm a wine guy, and I can verify
because
that.
The MD 2020 blue is not as good. Now, MD 2020 has one of the finest green wines, and neon green. I know there's a such thing as green wine. This is neon green. This is a different category.
Almost chartreuse.
It's mostly apple and toilet water. Because I think what's actual.
You know what I think? I think you guys are just jealous how much I show out on these shows, bringing my fancy blue liquor out there. I'm doing things you guys, it's like just above your head. You didn't even know we could go in these directions.
Yeah, drinking UV raspberry vodka. You're really playing 4D chess over there, buddy. Let's
How dare you?
It's 40 checkers.
Those are just Oreos. He's just eating piles of Oreos off.
That's why I couldn't play that game.
I thought you kinged me. Well, I did, but I got hungry.
Yeah, it was a double stuff.
I couldn't let that sit.
All right, guys. I think it's about time to pay some bills. Not only is the 108 tourney on the horizon, but also NCAA tournament season. And with sports gambling now legal in our neck of the woods, we want to make sure you're all fixed up. We're going to fix you up. So get over to pointsbet.com and use promo code 108ing. Deposit $250 and get $250. It's easier than angrily tweeting about projections. So get over to pointsbet.com, use promo code 108ing, and be ready for tourney season. Okay,
Ooh,
we got a special guest joining.
that's awesome.
I'm admitting this guest right now. We'll see how long it takes to get them in here. And there we go.
Oh!
There she is. There's our special guest.
And Beef, I will let you do the intro.
Absolutely. I'm all over this one. Our guest tonight,
Literally.
on the 108 on the 108 podcast, is the owner and president of Elevate Performance Solutions. And my wife, my equal half, not my better half. Mrs. BeefLoaf joining the show tonight to critique our audio and visual content performance. Mrs. BeefLoaf, welcome to the 108 podcast, and thank you for showing up.
Thank you so much for having me, guys. It's great to be here with you all. And I will say, without you even knowing this, one of my goals for 2021 is to be a guest on more podcasts. So here I am fulfilling part of my goals. I mean, I love it.
Does this kind of podcast count? It doesn't count, does it?
I'm sharing what I would share on other podcasts. So yes, okay. I think so.
I'm terrified right now. I'm just going to tell you
terrified.
Guys right now. I'm terrified.
Why are you terrified?
Because, I see how she can belittle BeefLoaf, and that, and I don't want any of that. I don't want any. I'm really scared.
Well, and I will say, not to further scare you, but I'm not a big fan of the feedback sandwich, which means like, oh, you're so great, and then like, here's something you need to work on, and then, oh, but you're so great. Because the problem with that is then people walk away not really knowing what was wrong, what they need to fix. I'm more of the radical candor type of person.
Oh boy.
And the tenets of radical candor are that I care personally for each one of you. So because I care personally, I'm going to challenge you directly. So
I mean, now, fellas, I have to admit, this is how my household goes. So I am challenged directly often, so I might have a small edge on you guys in some of these things because I get berated for them at the dinner table or just when I'm popping off and I've had a little too much 108ing going on. So I could have a little small edge, but you guys are kind of better, visual. I I'm too movie and shit.
What's like an example of something that you get popped off on at the dinner table? Like what do you say? Like, shut your fucking mouth, loaf. You fat ass. Did you say shit like that or no?
No. That like what? That harsh.
What are you saying?
Mrs. Beef will tell me you need to watch your tone, the way you're talking about that, because she's very perceptive of like how tone affects, the impact. It's like when you yell at your dog, right? If you yell really nice things at the dog, they're scared. But if you, call your dog an asshole, but in a nice tone, they love it, So it's like a lot of that sort of thing.
Yeah, a lot of mind games in our house. A lot of mind games.
So when you're talking about why you drink blue vodka, Beef, you've got to have the right tone to make. You could have convinced me with a better tone.
I could have. Yeah, I blew it. I actually blew it there. And then I went over your head. I went condescending on you that you don't know shit, and then I'm having blue. And you didn't buy it at all. You just muffed me right back in the face. I mean, so it didn't work, obviously.
And as I was watching the intro to the podcast tonight, I snuck on the YouTubes, and I realized I think that UV vodka was when my parents were in town like a long time ago. I think my dad might have been taking that down. So
oh my god,
yes.
I didn't think that's who it was. The person I thought bought this. I thought it was our friend who actually doesn't live in the neighborhood anymore. We would hang out with her a lot, and then she moved. She bought a home elsewhere. I thought it was her, but you might be right. It might be your old man.
I thought it was somebody else that also doesn't live in the neighborhood anymore, quite possibly another state that might have brought that over.
Who knows? It's a mystery, So we brought in Mrs. BeefLoaf to sort of help out what we're doing here. We figured that the audience, if you make content or even if you don't, just in your day job or whatever, you could benefit from some of the things that Mrs. BeefLoaf sees that we're doing wrong that we can improve on, or just some general concepts that she's going to lay before us. So Mrs. BeefLoaf, you got the floor. Feel free to peck away at all of us or just give us general, information.
Excellent. Well, thanks again, guys. And I will say, this was hard because what I've noticed since you started this and actually started being on camera as opposed to just being an audio podcast. So even back, 3 things, all that good stuff. I noticed that if I saw something that you could have corrected, you all would kind of correct it on your own. Probably from being murdered on Twitter over things.
Yes.
People probably said something and they're like, oh, immediately I'm going to change this. So it was more difficult than one might think. But I want to start it off by some general comments because each of you have, under a couple of these areas, each of you have some areas to fix. All right. So let's start with background. Background is really important in...
Would you put this in one of your workshops and say this is the type of background that you should have in a professional setting? That's my question.
I would probably use the red circle with the red slash through it to say, please don't do this. Please don't don't have this in your background. But Beef, I'm glad you brought up something because I'll bring you up first.
Oh, hello.
You look like you're recording in a storage shed.
This is our home.
Sadly it is.
I know this is all that I could afford. You and I could afford together for a home, but we don't have to call it names.
I mean, notice I'm in the same home, but my background looks pretty nice.
Yeah, yours looks better. Yep,
Good lighting too.
Yeah,
and I will say
lighting.
it's not that where you're at couldn't be better, right? It's more of tightening up the space, maybe moving your computer closer so you're eliminating some of that background, putting the minute bowl-sized microphone away. It's not being used. Yes, that.
All right, fine.
Okay.
But Bowl's going to be on tomorrow.
Yeah, he's the next segment.
Georgie Mirasan plays bass and sings on that mic. How dare you?
Yeah. I mean, there's also, your desk off to the side. So again, you might, it's cluttered.
It's not
very
good. This is bad.
Very cluttered. Very cluttered. Okay.
Oh,
so
God, I'm going to get lit up.
Next to Treasy, you have a very small area in your background and there's a lot going on with it. So I would say, and a lot of it's really good.
So more pictures is what you're thinking.
Actually, different placement of pictures because I can see you've got a 108 sign behind you, but I can't really see it. So maybe even while you're recording, put that sign up on your closet door.
Or over your face.
Close your closet door.
Yeah.
I've tried that.
What's in the
I didn't do well.
Then,
I don't. That's why I'm hiding it.
So I would say from that perspective, just making sure you just use your space even better, either highlighting those pictures or getting rid of some of them.
See, okay, now I'm enjoying this feedback, and I think that you're right. I can clean this up, but I partially am feeling like Cornsey is trying to get rid of this one right here, and this is her vehicle for doing it. And I hope My Sock Summer is just a little bit offended by that. I'm not, but I think My Sock Summer should be.
Well, I'm glad you brought up My Sock Summer because he's next. And all I know is every time I watch the podcast, I'm terrified because I'm the person watching the horror movie. And I know that someone is going to come up with a knife right behind him from that black abyss behind him and kill him. And there won't be any way for me to stop it. Dude.
Well, at least you care about me.
Turn on some lights down there.
No.
Yes.
No.
I don't think she cares about you. She just doesn't want to watch a murder on you.
Yeah. I mean, I care.
It'd be really good for content though when you probably get retweeted all over the place. So
that's true.
Honestly, fat guy dies like slasher film, filming a podcast. Like, I mean, we just go right up.
Well, My Sock Summer, that's why you got to turn the lights on so we could fucking see it. Otherwise, you're in the dark. We didn't see the great content.
You can see this. You can see this. Come on.
There's a fat guy slapped to death with a hard salami, and we missed it all because it was in the dark.
No, I'd eat my way out of that one, sir. You try to kill me with the salami. You see what happens. I'll fucking get some crackers and cheese. You ain't killing shit.
Well,
No, it is bad. It's bad. Now, Miss Loaf, I would ask you this: did you watch the 108 Fest where I got incredibly drunk and passed out, basically, or blacked out?
did.
Blacked out, not passed out. I kept talking. Did you see the background that I had then? I had a very fabulous background on the nights when I don't have to tweet 17 things and watch chats while I'm actually doing the work.
Yeah, I liked that. I think the backdrop needs to be higher so that you don't see the top of the backdrop behind the couch.
Okay.
So, you know, I think they're trying for the backdrop, the couch look, the lounge scene. I like it.
Okay.
It just needs a little tweaking, minor
Okay,
tweaking.
so basically, nice try, motherfucker, but not good enough.
Yeah,
Can I
that's
ask
what she's
something
saying.
for my sock summer though? Like, because it's so dark back there, would this, and it's light in the front. He's in the light nicely.
Yeah.
Yes.
Should he use one of the Zoom backgrounds? Like, should he, like,
I don't think it works.
I'm kind of feeling like I'd like to see what kind of Zoom background would be the first picture out of his saved pics as his background, and we'll just see what it is. It's got kind of like chat roulette. We're gonna see what we get, man. It might be someone who's really nice to talk to, might just be a big dick. We'll see what happens.
Well, you know, Zoom backgrounds are tricky because you have to either have an actual green screen, which is exactly what it sounds like, a big green screen that you put right behind you, or you have to have one built into your computer, which a lot of computers do, some don't. Because what happens is if you don't have the green screen, you don't show up. Or if you wear certain colors, you don't show up. Or if you gesture wildly.
So like the top of his head would just disappear.
It's gonna be gone.
Right?
Yeah.
I kind of want
very
that,
weird.
but I get it.
Crazy. When he leans back and he looks real fat, he'll just disappear. So we won't even get a chance to see.
Oh man, that'd be disappointing.
Yes,
or when someone chops the top of his head off
Totally
from
not
behind,
cool.
we're not going to notice because it's already missing.
What a man, that would be a disaster.
Let's talk about lighting since we've talked a little bit around lighting. Like Jacob, your lighting is pretty good on you. I think you could really benefit from a ring light.
Yes.
Then it would illuminate your face.
Nice.
Okay.
It'd be better on your face. Chirizi, you also need a ring light. The reason being is you like to wear baseball hats.
Yeah, and my light is above me.
Yes.
So,
but
it's kind of by design because I got an ugly face.
Well, no,
I don't think this is
the opposite.
You're like Jack Clooney, man.
I was just gonna say no one will know you look like George Clooney unless you have that ring light. And Quernsey has one. Now don't steal hers. But she has one. She can teach you how to use it. I'm
not allowed to touch those things. The fancy lighting stuff, I'm not allowed to touch them. There's tons of it. There's more. There's a surplus. There's plenty for me to use. I'm not allowed.
They're very inexpensive.
I'm just kidding. That's actually a really good idea.
Mrs. Beef, we have a comment in the chat. It is from White Sox Sal. He says, can Mrs. Beef explain why wallet chains are stupid?
I feel like it goes without explanation.
Oh, come on. Yes. What about my fancy glasses? These assholes wanted me to put this on for the last one. Should I wear this now or what?
You know,
is this professional? Hey, Judge, I know I'm a cat, but whatever.
It could be something that could be distracting to the audience.
What about this
Allegedly.
one? Is this one a little better?
A little.
Okay.
It's a little better.
See, you're not supposed to be this nice. Tell me, like an
tell me to be stupid. Yeah.
Don't worry. I'm coming. So I have some other just critiques that have come about that I've noticed. BeefLoaf, stop bouncing in your seat. We all know that you're sitting on an exercise ball chair, but it gets distracting when it's like you're bouncing away.
I can't help it. I need to be strapped down, I think.
I think you just need a different chair.
Yeah, I think you're probably right. I just move the actual chair. I got another chair back here that's in my background. I don't know if you noticed it or not, but I just slide that up and not use the.
Oh, don't worry,
chair.
don't worry. We can all see it. Everybody.
We all see it
right now on
We all
Twitter.
see it.
Ramsey has already posted a picture of just that chair when he zoomed in past your ear and took a picture in a picture. Shreezy, your placement of your beer can, it makes me so nervous because I'm afraid it's going to spill all over your equipment.
It only does once a month. Yeah, it's
Beer flavored.
awkward.
Pretty horny.
So I can make it better if I move some stuff out of the way, but then it's more difficult if I need to start actually doing anything over here.
Yeah.
Like when the chat doesn't work. But it's annoying to me too. So I think, I'll keep it in mind and I'll keep it over here.
Yes.
I wish I had something here. I think maybe that's what I'll do.
Let's get a little table over there.
Get something over here so then I can go with my right hand because I got to also drink around the mic. So if I go right hand, way easier. That's a good call. I like it.
Yeah.
I'm now buying a new table. I'm buying new lighting. And Cornsy's like in the other room, a minute behind on the YouTube. So she's gonna hear about all this momentarily.
And you'll hear a little squeal with delight in a moment.
You'll hear something hit the doors back here, like no fucking way.
And put that nice canvas in your bathroom so that when people go to take a piss, they look at us.
I'm not covering up the Costanza in my bathroom.
No. That's a classic.
You gotta go to the other side, though.
The other side's the door.
Well, that's true.
Nice.
All right. Well,
okay.
We're off topic.
Yeah.
But I think a little nice table here would be perfect.
That's great. Beef and I just bought some little tables that will be perfect for that, and they're very inexpensive. We'll give you the hookup.
Nice. I love it.
A couple more things, and then I'll just throw out some general tips for everyone, and then I'll let you gentlemen carry on your nights. My Sock Summer. If someone has had a really great point and you are tempted to say the exact same thing, different words, don't. White Sock Sal will thank you for it. In fact, he's probably thanking me for it right now.
He should shut the fuck up, though. Fuck you, Sal.
For all of you, when you're thinking of like, you know what, I could really go deep on this topic, Beef, for you, if you're like, oh, you know what, I know only 15% of our audience really wants to get into this obscure analytic, component and got these names or acronyms, that maybe do one of two things: either make it very concise or educate people, the audience on it. And I know you've done that in blogs before. I know you've kind of broken down things, which is great. But if you're going to bring it up in a podcast, just make sure it's short and sweet, and then or it's very educational.
Yeah, I've been actually working at that. I've been trying to do more dick jokes, more farts, and that sort of thing instead of actually going with stats, because it is kind of boring to listen to someone read off stats. It's I'm getting bored. I'm the one fucking reading them, so I totally agree with your point.
I'm so proud right now, ladies. Ladies, all mine. Chirizi, similarly, if you're tempted, you know what? It's late into the podcast. I've had a few pops, and I want to talk about the super obscure band that I saw at this super obscure place that nobody even likes that type of music.
Nobody. Not even the 6 people there with you.
Not even Treasy. Not even Treasy, because when he gets to the end of the story, it'll be like, that band wasn't even that good.
Now, I will say, Chirizi does have some amazing, like, on the road stories and stuff like that. So those types, yes, keep them in when there's a good story. But if you feel like you get to the end of it and say, I don't think anybody cares, and I'm starting to not care.
You know what the problem is that I will tell myself, stop talking about these bands. Like you did these music with Cherizis and like came up with these obscure bands and tried to show people, and no one fucking liked them.
No one liked
them. And then someone will go like, man, just like one person will go like, man, I really liked this article back. When are you going to do another one of these? And I will take that as 400,000 people said that to me. Like it's just, I don't know why it works that way in my brain. I'm just like, well, everyone's telling me I need to do this. I better bring it up when I'm extremely drunk and only remember half the story. And then basically Michael Scott going, sometimes I just start a sentence and I don't know where it's going. So I couldn't agree more. And I guess I just broke the My Sock Summer rule. I just said exactly
The same
what you
thing.
said in a
Yeah,
different
you did.
order.
Way to go, dumb fuck.
Lastly, on the personal critiques,
Oh man, I
My
can't change
Sock
that
Summer.
shit.
Yes.
try to refrain from looking at your phone or looking at your other screen. Like, I'm assuming you have another screen up for notes, which is fine. Like,
Yes.
glancing at it too. Okay. I mean, if you could see my room, I have a bunch of notes for different programs that I'm doing so that I can glance at them when I'm teaching a class and immediately go back to looking at the participants. So, just limit the amount of time you spend with your head down or your head away, because we're going to think that we lost you.
Well, and in the most recent case, you did. And I will try to let Blackout Jacob know, hey, don't be checking your phone when you are totally blackout drunk, okay? Stop doing that shit. And when I looked back on it, I was like, this is obnoxious and this is so bad. But I can't take credit for all that bad behavior because I don't even know what I was doing.
Yeah.
But what you said is true, and it rings true. And I've put it up in the old noggin with my headband on, and I am hoping to refrain from doing that now that we are on visuals and people can see that. But that's very good critique.
Well, and especially because you have 85% of your brain power back, which is what you
Yeah,
have. So
pretty much.
Almost fully charged.
Yep.
I'm getting there. I'm getting back. I mean, I was only at probably 95% anyway, so getting back there slowly but surely. It's good.
I like it. Last thing I'll say, and then I'll just have two very, very quick things. This is just a general. I know this is a long show, and I know that you're going to have to get up and use the facilities. I'm not suggesting you wear an adult diaper. I'm not suggesting you hold it, but I am suggesting you consider, everyone, turning off your camera and muting your line, just so you can get up. You're not rustling around. You're off camera so people don't, see you get up in all your glory. Maybe people are into that. I don't know. But
so you mean I'll avoid the hand washing gate when I went to the bathroom? The bathroom's literally right here, and it was maybe 60 seconds, and everyone thought I didn't wash my hands. No one will know because I'll have the camera off.
You wouldn't avoid
even though
that,
people probably know what you're doing, you'll also be muted so no one hears you go to the bathroom.
I don't think I have that. No, I don't think no one heard.
No.
I could be wrong.
I keep my headphones on and everything, so
like Frank Drebin.
So I can narrate.
Yes.
Whoops.
We need a sign that says BRB taking a piss, and we'll just throw that up there right when we're gonna get up.
Exactly.
You can have that be your picture for when you turn off your camera. That comes up.
God damn it!
That's a good
who's
idea.
Gonna really enjoy that though is all the people at all the good people at Chicago Park District that my daughters take online classes from. So when it comes up, it says "Be right back, taking a piss," and all their kids can see that, and it will be wonderful.
Those kids can't read. Come on now, they're 4.
True. That's a good point.
I'm not knocking them. I'm saying they're 4. They're 4.
I am going to bring that up when I'm in court, and I'm a cat filter, and because I'll be.
I'll be a character witness for you.
Yeah, thank you.
A couple more things on just in general and for anybody out there. Remember, if you're on a virtual meeting, when you're presenting, you're actually talking, look at the camera. Don't look at the screen. So you see how I'm looking at the screen, it looks different than when I'm talking to the camera because it looks like I'm talking to each one of you out there as opposed to when I'm looking at you.
Yeah.
You guys do a pretty good job of that, but I just want to bring it up to the general population. And then just remember to wear colors that complement you, especially in relation to your background. For for me, I can never wear white even when I'm really tan because my background is so predominantly white that I'll look like I have a virtual background. It'll
A
look like
floating
I'm just,
head.
yeah, I'm just a floating head. So,
Yeah.
choose colors that complement you based on your skin tone and coloring. And that is all I have for you. I want to thank you guys for having me on. This has been really fun. I really
Can we
appreciate
ask
it.
you a question though?
Yeah, I was gonna say we want to ask some questions to
Please.
you. Is that
Go
okay?
ahead. I just didn't want to take up too much time.
Go ahead, my sex summer. You go first, baby.
Put your hand down, Treasy, you son of a bitch. So this is something that I've wanted to you know us personally, and you know us like as an entity, like here as a 108. Now, when you're on the show, do you see anything? Do you see us acting in any different manners, or do you see something different about us that we don't bring from our personal life into this, or are we kind of just the same all the way through and through?
No, I think you're all pretty consistent. Who you are is who you are, which I think is also really refreshing. You're very authentic. Mm-hmm. For better or for worse, but it's
I mean, that's true.
May or may not be a good thing. Yes.
Not always a good thing.
So my question is, and you know us, and you know how luscious all of our hair is, right? We all got great locks of hair, beautiful manes.
Yes.
Who's doing their hair the most disservice with the way we handle it during the podcast? Because like I got a ponytail, I feel like an idiot, but I don't know if I'm the worst.
Does that have anything to do with your question, or was that just a general statement?
I mean, I feel like no one can tell you have a ponytail, so you're doing the world a disservice.
When I have to fix something,
there
it is.
The tail.
Yeah,
no, you get
ponytail, man.
It's almost like a horse tail. I mean, it's like I can't. It's not even a pony anymore.
I feel incredibly fat when I don't have my hair up. That's why I do.
The way you
don't
look
worry,
right
you
now,
don't look incredibly fat.
I look incredibly fat. Like I feel fat.
You know who he looks like right now?
He looks like
looks like in Naked Gun 2.5.
Dr.
Meinheimer
when
he becomes Earl Hackett when he takes this when they catch him, they rip his mask off and he's Earl Hackett or whatever. That's what he looks like right now.
I don't know.
We'll put up a picture of side by side. We'll screenshot that and we'll put Dr. Meinheimer up at some point on Twitter later on.
I'm not feeling it.
Better.
Yeah. I don't know.
I feel like that, when your hair's not a distraction, that's good.
Okay. So I'm doing a good thing then by keeping it all under wraps and I'm not sitting there fucking with it 24/7.
Yep.
Because that's fucking with the headband 24/7.
A lot of times that can become a distraction when someone's like, "Oh, my hair's in my face. My hair's in my face."
Yes.
And they keep doing it. So because everybody's watching everything you do, all of your mannerisms are so much more heightened because everyone's watching everything. Yeah, exactly.
I just got K-Fids just says I look like a bloated Steven Van Zandt. So that's
wow.
That's the look I'm going for.
That's pretty
folks.
good, actually. That's better than I expected. Mrs. Beef, I have a question about cadence. My personal opinion, out of the three of us, I think Treasy kind of has the best cadence of the group, and I think I probably talk a little fast. I do it on purpose. So I'm wondering, should I back off of that? What do you think about cadence and the way we come through with that during the show?
So I think cadence is an interesting one because as long as everyone can follow along, if your cadence is quick, you're likely showing, and just because you do this, you're likely showing a lot of passion. So it's like, it's fast, it's quick, I'm excited, I'm happy to be here. So people are really engaged with it.
Okay.
It becomes a problem when they don't know what you're talking about. And if you're speaking too quickly, people can't catch up to it. They're still stuck on wondering, wait, what was that acronym or big word? You hear it a lot in corporations where it's like acronyms are thrown around. And if you're a new person, well, forget it. You don't know the lingo of the company yet. So it can be really distracting. I think because people generally know what you're talking about or who you're talking about, your cadence is probably like, ooh, good, he's really excited about it. I will
Okay.
say, yes, Treasy has a great cadence, very calm, relaxed, but not slow.
Right.
Not
Yeah.
like,
His feels perfect when I'm listening. It just feels absolutely perfect,
Yes.
and I feel like I'm fucking up a lot, but I can't
Well,
help
you
it. Like,
are.
this is the
Right.
effect I'm going for.
But I
guess.
gave
So-
away my whole Michael Scott. I'm trying to think of the next word I'm gonna say. Problem, and so I think now the it's gone. The luster is lost.
I will say, if you get to that point, in all seriousness, when you're like, oh, I know I was going somewhere with this, I don't remember, even just pausing, sometimes you'll remember what you were going to say. Just even that quick pause. And I think people get nervous to pause because they think, oh, great, now everybody knows I forgot what I was going to say. When really the audience is actually catching up to what you just said. It's almost like the delay of live versus, watching it on screen. There is just a little delay in people's brains of catching up to processing what you just said. So it's
Mrs.
okay
Beef, that's a great point, because sometimes I'll listen back to the podcast after we've done it, and I'll feel like I paused forever, or one of the other guys has, and then when I listen to it, it doesn't sound that way. It sounds like a regular pause. That's no problem, and then we go. And so, like, I think sometimes when you're in it, you're like, oh shit, I just screwed something up, but then it's maybe not as bad.
Right. And you have to remember, they don't know what you were trying to say. So
Even
it's
after
okay
you
to
say it.
practice saying it.
That's right.
It's okay if you thought of saying it one way and you end up saying it a different way. Where you get into trouble, or people get into trouble in general, is when they start just using a ton of filler words in order to like catch themselves up. Like, you see, I was
Yeah.
See, we're lucky versus a corporate setting because we could use swears.
Mhm.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
Yeah.
and
Profanities.
those swears are funny. So they
it
Usually.
breaks the ice. Then
Yeah.
everybody's laughing, and then you're like, okay, where were we? We don't even know. Let's just move on, and it's fine.
Mrs. Beef, I have another question from the comments.
Uh-oh.
White Sox Sal wants to know your
Fuck Sal,
opinion
dude.
of My Sox Summer's command of the English language.
I
Not to put you on the spot, but
no, I actually did have this in my original notes, but I wanted to be very, very fair and balanced for.
Oh, you can
so I
say
said,
it.
Let me just cut out
Just say it.
something. But when you're talking about, I was having some Crown Royal, like really think about what words do I want to use, especially if it's a brand name or a person's name. Write out those words. I a lot of times write it out phonetically, so no one's going to see it, right? It's my notes.
right.
Mhm.
And if there's a hard to pronounce name or brand, or if it's a tongue twister that I'm like, ugh, I'm going to bungle this, I will actually write it out phonetically, so then I won't screw it up.
Yeah,
So
it's
I know that-
Costco Royale, and I fucked that up. I even made it up. I mean, it's just Canadian whiskey. It's Kirkland Canadian whiskey. I mean,
okay.
it's not even really that hard. I just fucked it up because I was calling it Costco Royale, because I'm fancy. Like, I try to be fancy, but then fancy
are
turns
fancy.
into a fucked up guy, and then because you fuck it up, and then it's not fancy anymore. It's stupid. And then you got a
Hey,
guy
you know
that
what, though?
doesn't
Great
have a good
alliteration.
command of the yes, and then a guy that doesn't have a good command of the English language, who's from Australia but lives in fucking Iowa, giving me shit about it. And so, like, fuck that. Like, I
made it
gave him a
worthwhile.
W. I mean, Christ, I was just, I'm just here to let everybody beat up on, especially the Australian in Iowa. So no big deal.
So I do have a question because, and this is from your earlier commentary on the hovel that I live in. What if you were going to get rid of one thing behind me,
Oh man.
or add something in to make people look less fat in one of these, what should I move or get rid of?
I think it might not even be getting rid of anything.
Is it just spreading it out?
It might just be changing. There's the ponytail. There it is.
Oh man,
You know
that
it.
looks so hot.
Yeah, I mean, like,
I
then
got a
you
little
can buy
more
Sock
air.
Summer. I mean,
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's all we want.
Yeah,
want
that's all you need in that
what
picture.
people want. They
Yeah.
want the thumb. They want the
Yeah,
thumb.
just the thumb and a cowboy hat. Yep.
He's so mad having
Uh,
to do that.
because like I like
No,
the
I want.
frame-
Now listen. If there's anything though, I wanted to show you how down I am with the 108 by using a picture that I fucking hate. I used it for like fan cutouts, and then I blew it up and put it on a goddamn canvas. So if there isn't one more way to say, listen, I'm with the cause here, motherfuckers. I'm not blood, but look at, I'm using the most embarrassing photo possibly, potentially.
I think it
Somebody
looks
thought I
great.
was a dead Chris
yeah, it's
Farley in that picture. I'm
That's
using
true.
that photo as like, this is how much I love you guys. Here, enjoy this photo. You know what I mean? Like there's some cerebral shit going on there. And yes, Sal, I said cerebral. You can suck all of my ass with that. Okay. Is it good to yell out insults at people while you're doing a podcast?
it's usually not
But
recommended.
for us, it's okay.
But in this case, you have a rapport with Sal that he would feel bad, or he'd feel like something was wrong if you didn't hurl insults in response to his insults to you.
There you go. Thank you. I feel totally redeemed. And yes, Sal, I said redeemed.
That's not a big word.
Shut up. I could have fucked that up too, Teresa.
What an
You know so.
accomplishment.
I said the. Yeah, you heard it.
What else? What other
got-
questions? Anything else?
Yeah, I got another question. So I feel like sometimes, I got issues with my sound. I've corrected it a little bit with the headset, but I think some of the issues with my sound sometimes are my poor breathing skills during the show. I'll say some things and then I'll like say something in the middle of a breath and it gets real low. Is there any exercises to like work on that? Because I have a loud voice in general, but it'll go down low when I'm kind of mid breath during this stuff.
Why are you speaking while you're breathing? Take a pause.
I got to get my words out before these two assholes start talking again.
But if you're already talking and then you're like da da da.
I think we already covered these two things, right? Because you're pointing to it's cadence and it's stop bouncing on that fucking ball. That's why you're out of breath.
Crunches. You're doing all them crunches.
All right.
You're working your ass like you're in adult films. Come on, man. What are you doing?
A regular Matt Ramsey over there.
How dare you? All right. Any other questions for Mrs. BeefLoaf?
I don't, but thank you.
No, I've been.
Thanks for coming
thoroughly
on. I think you should have been
humiliated.
a
I
lot
feel good
worse,
about it.
though.
Yeah,
especially
that's
towards
true.
your
You
husband.
could have been a lot meaner to us, and we appreciate it. But I feel like I'm gonna be on Amazon Prime at like 3 a.m. tonight after we upload the podcast, getting some new stuff for my my little area.
Yeah, and if you don't, let us know because we've got some little tables that are amazing. They come assembled. So
I love it.
Yeah. Thank you guys very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. That was awesome. We really appreciate it.
Can't wait to
Plug
watch
your
the rest
company.
of the show.
Hey, plug your company.
Elevate Performance Solutions.
There you
I
go.
work with individuals and companies on presentation skills, but also on leadership and management skills. So
There you go. See?
hit me up in the DMs if you want to talk.
Yeah. No dick pics, though.
She's on the Twitter
Oh.
machine. Get over there.
You can't even send her pics, Loaf. That's not nice.
I'm not gonna.
All right, I'm leaving. Because now
Thank
I
you.
don't want to stay for the next section.
All right. Thanks to Mrs. BeefLoaf. Yeah, she is Elevate Performance Solutions. She's on Twitter. I'll tag her Twitter to this when we tweet this out after the podcast is up and running. So what did you boys think of that little session right there?
I thought it was great. I thought there was like
Very
some
good.
really good info, and like I literally want to move things right now because
I'm
like,
with you. The visual component is like totally something we could shoot the moon on if we work on it just a little bit, it feels like.
because like I have a bar stool back here that's holding up this 108 sign. Now, this 108 sign is very special, by the way, because you know who I got this from? I got this from the fucking hot dog king
I was
of
gonna
White
say,
Sox
I
Twitter.
do know who.
You're damn right. Yes,
You know,
he made
and
that for us.
Yeah, he made this. That's fucking awesome. right? So I like to have that up. I feel good when that thing's up. I feel powerful. I feel like I could be filled with Vienna beef and really bring the power. So I like it there. But maybe I get a little table and I put it on there right here. And then I got my beers here too.
Yeah.
I mean that feels pretty fucking good.
That'll line you up nice.
I'm liking it quite a bit. So the ideas are popping. They always are. Get a little seed and they start popping.
On and popping.
It's on and popping.
On and popping.
I mean, one of the things I'll tell the listening audience, obviously, I don't do what my wife does. My wife is, does corporate training and teaches people all these soft skills and presentation skills and all these things that are essential, especially as you move up the ranks. Executives need this type of stuff, personal coaching. One thing I've learned is, like, I could be a super mediocre accountant, but I have access to my wife, so my soft skills are impeccable. And so it's helped me a lot in my career, even just understanding these little, like, she gave us a little tiny glimpse into kind of all the stuff she could talk to us about doing all this stuff. Even you make those little bit of changes, you get ahead of everybody else because they're just not doing them.
Yeah.
You know what's funny, my sock summer? I don't know if you agree with this, but Beef, he talks about these soft skills that he has, and he's ruling the accounting world with him. But he's a huge prick to me and you.
Pretty much.
Right? I mean, like, I feel like at all times
on
I'm
purpose,
just being
yeah.
berated for some bullshit. Like, it's
Right.
just
like how he just like blows stuff off. I'm like, hey, I'm having a really rough time, and he's like, yeah, whatever. No one.
He's
cares
like,
if you woke up
I
early.
saw what you were talking about. I ignored it.
Yeah. I saw you were going through some crisis there, but I was real busy at work. But he tweeted 75 times during that time, so I don't know. Like, it just kind of like, I guess it's a job. The 108 is a job, but like, I wouldn't call it work, per se. I want to. It was good. I liked everything that went down. I think she was way too easy. I think she should have come a lot harder and brought a hammer, and I think she will next time. And people are asking for a reoccurring segment. But I also, there was so many times I wanted to make a joke and make a funny, and I'm like, I can't make the funny and I can't make the joke. Like, I would have done it if we were in person, but I felt like I can't do it on this. Like, she would say something and there was a sexual innuendo that I could have worked in there, and I was like, I can't.
Yeah, you should
Like,
keep
I shouldn't
that
do
to
that.
yourself most of the time.
Yeah, I know, right? So maybe she started me down that path that's what I should stay on. So
Beef,
thank you, Mrs. Loaf.
I just looked at my notes and I realized that in one of the parts that we already passed, I have you listed as Deef instead of Beef. I might just start using that.
That's my code name.
But fellas, now that we're slightly hammered and extremely self-conscious, it's time for a special Valentine's Day edition of the Horniness Meter.
Yeah.
Yes.
Beef, tell us about tonight's Horniness Meter.
Tonight's Horniness Meter is going to feature the NRIs of the White Sox, and that's the non-roster invitees. I'm calling this the Mr. Big Cream edition of the Horniness Meter because we're going to need it for tonight.
That's hot, Beef.
Those of you who don't know what a non-roster invitee is, a non-roster invitee is an invitation for a player who's not on the club's 40-man roster to attend Major League Camp and spring training and compete for a roster spot. So these are the people that you hear about, okay, when the Rule 5 draft is coming, guys got to get protected. And so, like, this year, the Sox protected Jake Berger and Gavin Sheets. Those guys are on the 40-man roster. So they would not be part of this pool. They are a roster person that would get invited to spring training. Non-roster invitees tend to be players who are either career minor leaguers, who they kind of like a little bit, maybe they'll bring them in for competition, or major leaguers that have fallen off a little bit, kind of gotten far enough down the radar that nobody's willing to give them a guarantee to be in the major leagues, but they're tantalizing enough where you want to bring them in and say, maybe you could make this last roster spot or the last 2 roster spots on our squad. And so we've got a list of 5 that we're going to go through tonight, and we're going to judge our arousal levels. I mean, like we always do. We're always talking about horny
because the non-roster invitee is really, when you bring those guys in, you're going, could you be the worst guy on our team? That's
your best effort. Maybe you could be the worst guy on our team. Yes. Yeah, that's pretty much what it is.
Exactly. All right. So who's up? Well, Tim Beckham is up first. Tim Beckham is up first. And so, Beef, go ahead.
I would love to go first because, as we all know, I've written a blog about Tim Beckham. Jerezy and I have unrequited Tim Beckham love for years now because he was kind of out there as a free agent, and he was the type of guy you could have brought in to be your Lurie Garcia.
Mhm.
He's not an outfielder in any way, shape, or form, but he handles second, short, and third. He's got some pop. He's a former #1 overall pick, so it's for me, it's kind of exciting. So, as I was mentioning, my thought in the horniness meter. Do you remember the movie There's Something About Mary?
Yes.
Where Chris Elliott's character Dom, aka Woogie, tells Ben Stiller's character Ted, "Tell me you spank your monkey before any big date." Oh my God, he doesn't flog the dolphin before a big date. Are you crazy? That's like going out there with a loaded gun. Of course you're nervous. That's how I feel about Tim Beckham right now. I am so fucking excited. I can't control myself. I think he's primed to be on this roster. I'll pack Danny Mendick's bags so we can have a Tim Beckham on this roster. I just can't wait. I'm really thrilled. They made this signing back in October, and I didn't write about it for 4 goddamn months because I was worried he'd be a roster cut somewhere in between there. We made it to spring training. He's my guy. I fucking love it.
He's primed to be on the team. So I'm going to do mine by where I would take them for Valentine's Day.
Ooh, I love it.
So for Tim Beckham,
Rosebud.
this has been a long time coming, and you just mentioned it. And I've had my eye on this player for a while, and I've just been waiting in the wings. But this is a risky endeavor, right?
Yeah.
So I'm going to take him to Hugo's Frog Bar in the Rivers Casino.
Oh,
I have no idea if
nice.
it's open, but it feels like fancy enough to try and woo someone, but also steps away from where I can just go and lose thousands of dollars immediately. And I think that's kind of what you're looking at with Tim Beckham, right? It's like you're like, oh, I'm going to put this guy on the roster, right? I'm going to put him in not only the 40 man, but I'm going to put him in 26. And this is going to be our backup shortstop. And that's a risk. You're putting a lot of chips in there. That's some delicious blue vodka you're drinking.
My God.
You're putting chips in the middle, and you're going to see what you're going to get. And that's, I'm confident about it, but I've been confident a lot of times when I push those chips in, especially when I've had a couple 2-3 drinks.
Well,
that happens. And that's what
Yeah.
I'm feeling right now. I feel like we're in Hugo's. We have a couple martinis. We go to the tables, and we're going to see. We're rolling the dice. What do we get with Tim Beckham? That's where I'm taking him.
I love it.
So I know that nobody cares about this, but I didn't have a shitload of time to do my notes today. So I was going through, and I was just going to do a cold read on these names and not look the people up and just like say what my thoughts were on these people. So for Tim Beckham, I immediately thought it was Gordon Beckham's child. And then I looked up, and he's actually black. So that doesn't work. And it makes me look even dumber
drafted
than normal.
the same year.
Right. And from Georgia. I mean, they have a lot of similarities, but just not visually. So I'm going to agree with you guys on the list of people that we have so far. He is by far and away the biggest boner producing guy out of the group as far as baseball talent. So I'm just going to need some regular porn that I can find on Spank Monkey or Spank. What is the Spank Bang? And maybe RedTube. I don't think I can go too far. I could go to one of the 2 favorites, right? I might not even need that. I could even possibly find some amateur shit just floating around Google, like in the video section. Like, I just point me in a direction. I don't really need your
craft. You don't need your craft stuff.
No, I don't got to go deep. I don't got to bring out the big guns and the big bazoongas, for this one. No, we can keep it pretty normal. It could be just a one-off, just get me through there. We're good to go. So yeah, that's how I feel about Tim Beckham.
Wow, that was gorgeous. And Treasy, before we skip to the next one,
all right, yeah.
There was a little Twitter action, and when the White Sox announced their non-roster invitees, someone that wasn't on our list, White Sox Sal, was really curious about your horniness thoughts on this player, and that is one Cody Medeiros. So can you ad hoc give me a horniness level on a Cody Medeiros being invited to White Sox spring training with a chance to make the roster?
You know what? I think I gotta go out west for this guy because we got to go to Big Kahuna Burger. That's where we got to take Cody Medeiros for
right.
Valentine's Day dinner. But like, you know what? So this is the reason that Cody Medeiros comes up for me is because there was this point in time where Rick Hahn was getting all the little pats on the back for all the stuff he was doing.
Yeah.
And like it was like he was like, oh well, he picked up the bad Joaquim Soria contract for nothing, and then he flipped him for guys. But the guys that he flipped him for, so like basically he picked up the bad contract, spent like $8 million,
Yep.
and then he flipped them for these guys in such a shrewd move. But those guys are, one is not even, I don't even know if he's alive anymore. And then the other one is Cody Medeiros. And Cody Medeiros just has never been anything. And that's fine. But you do that a few times and a few times over with these relievers. And like, you're just kind of sitting there going like, dude, if you didn't have money to spend, why did you spend $8 million to do that? You could have got Tyler Clippard for 45 cents that year, who was way better than everybody. And he was just sitting out there. He was just waiting. And then you got him later. Like, it's like, there was tons of that. There was over and over, and Cody Medeiros is the one with the coolest name, so we say it over and over, but that's just kind of why he sticks in my mind. Of like, he's one of these guys that like people were like, what a shrewd move, what a great, this guy's wheeling and dealing with these bad contracts, really doing it up, and it's like, no, this is just a bunch of trash moving around. This is like,
and you paid $8 million for, actually.
Yeah, I mean, like it's you guys laugh at the shit that people buy from My Sock Summer. Rick Hahn's out there buying Joaquim Soria to trade him off for Cody Medeiros. I'll take the fucking McNugget things, whatever. I'll take those instead.
It's like an equivalent of a McDonald's Dream Team cup. You know, like it has value, but ultimately it's still trash. Poor Cody.
All right, sorry to
he
derail
doesn't have
our
a K
list.
though. He has a K for his name, which is pretty awesome.
He'll make the team, 100%. He'll make the team.
Shove it right up my ass. I love it. I'm fine.
You should.
All right. Up next, Jonathan Lucroy. And My Sock Summer, since you have no notes, I'll let you go first.
I know him. He's the one guy that I actually do know on there. Now, Jonathan Lucroy 5 years ago, Major Rager. I'm all about this guy, right? Like, potential is endless. Now, oh my God. Who is this guy? What happened? Like, did he get off the juice? Is he no longer taking performance enhancing pills? Will he start taking them when he comes to us? Because that would be awesome. And I know how you guys feel about cheating and performance enhancing. So you're all about that. So we don't even have to discuss that. Now, do I like it? I mean, I'm okay with it, but I'm not like, oh, this is awesome. So I'm going to have to bring out, I'm not getting into the craft porn, but I'm going to probably go back into the vintage My Sock Summer, early years of the porn and bring out some old Bang Bros tapes, maybe a twosome, maybe a threesome, with Gianna, maybe a threesome with Sarah J. When one of the 3 years that she actually looked good, like maybe we'll bring that in and that will get me going. So it's not like pushing it over the top, but it's remembering those good old days of like beginnings of internet porn.
Oh man, that was special. I felt that. That was real. That was real Valentine's Day feelings right there.
You went deep. Beef, what do you got?
Man, I mean, Jonathan Lucroy, boys. I'm thinking Mona from Who's the Boss. I'm thinking Blanche Devereaux from The Golden Girls. I'm thinking Pam Grier and Jackie Brown. Yes, I am planning to go the GILF route here. Treasy, just level set here. Nothing would stop a fucking card game at my house. It's 2 a.m. The boys are 108 off their ass. We're flipping channels and we find the goddamn Pam Grier movie.
Oh yeah. Oh,
it'd be one hand an hour of poker. Everyone's watching that shit. Like, oh my God. So remember,
like coffee or something, right? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, well, we'll deal a hand after this scene. We can't break this up right now. Remember how long Beverly D'Angelo was super hot, and then in the last couple of years she's kind of lost her fastball. That's how I feel about Lucroy. He lost his fastball about 4 years ago, but I still remember those good times. So I'm only lukewarm about it. If I'm pressed and if I've had too much to drink, I'm probably in just for old time's sake. That's how I feel about Jonathan.
See, I'm along these lines. I'm thinking like the girl that was hot in like high school or college, and then you see her like 10 years later, and you're like, not so much, but you still got that memory, and you're like,
Yeah.
well, we should probably go out. But it's Valentine's Day, and I don't want this to look too serious, but I want to kind of keep in there. And then you do the fancy White Castle's Valentine's
That's what I was
Day
thinking too. Yep.
dinner.
Yep.
You know what I'm talking about, My Sock Summer, because
Yeah.
they do like their Valentine's Day thing.
Yep.
So it's kind of funny,
Yep.
but it's also super cheap. And
Yep.
you're like, I'm not investing in this. But
Plus, you
something
might get
happen. Something might happen, but I'm not spending money on it. I'm spending $11 to see if something might happen. So that's where I'm at with Jonathan Lucroy, and that's where Rick Hahn is actually at with Jonathan.
Pretty much. Now, I don't know if you
exactly
guys know this or our audience knows this, but I used to live out west, and there's a guy out there on the radio, and his name is Tom Likas, and he would talk about how a girl decides within the first 3 minutes that she will either sleep with you or not sleep with you, and you're never supposed to spend more than $40 on a date. So that falls right into the White Castle on a Valentine's Day. So it's not about the money you spend. Now, you said that something might happen after the Valentine's Day. Most likely, you both will shit your pants. So no sex to be having. You're going to find out who's good and who's
That's
not
as good as sex, by the way.
Pretty
That's
much.
as good as sex.
It's at least anally arousing.
You're a little out of line yourself. All right. Next up, the guy I had to look up, Nick Williams.
I mean,
My Sock Summer, lay out all your thoughts on Nick Williams.
I literally just had to look him up too, and I was glancing at projections, and he looks like a solid guy that the White Sox would have and would expect something big from. That it just ain't gonna do it. The cut of his jib is good. Goofy looking face, got a good smile, but I'm just not. I don't know. It's not getting me there. I'm gonna need to bring out some of the big guns, not the biggest gun, but give me a good old Jenna fuck film. From like back in the day, something that I know is like just get it in there, and like I know that it's gonna work because it's worked 100 times before, and it'll work 100 times after. So I'm gonna need something for the poor Nick because I don't see what's going on. He has a negative 1.8 career WAR. Sounds like a lot of people that we don't need on this team right now. It's just not something that like is gonna take us to that next level. But okay. I see what you did there, I guess. I don't know.
Beef, what do you got, man?
Before I get into mine, I liked how he's got a weird face that made me think of in Ocean's 13 when they had the printout and the one guy fixed it and their faces all got distorted. Like that's how Nick Williams looks right now. He's one of those guys.
That's rude.
R.I.P. in peace to Larry Flint, creator of Hustler, by the way. We got to bring it up during this segment because the movie, Woody Harrelson, Courtney Love are outstanding in that movie.
Yeah.
People versus Larry Flint.
That's a great.
Edward Norton is great in that movie.
Yeah, Edward Norton
outstanding in that movie.
Fantastic in that movie.
Love that movie. And Larry Flint, in some ways is a real despicable character, and in other ways, he really stood up for First Amendment rights. So it's kind of interesting. But I wanted to bring that up because to me, Nick Williams is a lot like Hustler. When you were young, you didn't know any better. And like, if you looked at his 2017 season, you're like, fuck yeah. And that's like getting hold of a Hustler when you're like 12. And then you're like, this is some good shit. But then when you grow up a little bit and you start getting out there, the Hustler and the Nick Williams, you're like, it's just kind of meh. So I'm probably out. Actually, I'm definitely out. I don't care about Hustler or Nick Williams, and I'm really not interested.
Yeah, I mean, like, so Beef, I recently wrote a blog about this. The White Sox right field just
The abyss.
carousel.
It's been bad. That was a great blog because it just detailed all those years, all the different options, and the shit that's still hanging around too.
It's not been that many years.
It's not over.
So many guys.
It's not over either. Exactly.
But he fits the mold of like a subset of those guys, which is he's a corner outfielder, hit well in the minors. He came up and hit well at the beginning.
Yep.
Then each year he degraded a little bit more, right? So it's just kind of like every other guy we talked, like kind of like I'd say like a third of the guys we talked about in that blog.
Right.
He's like that, you know? And so I think the place that I would take him for Valentine's Day would be go out to a bar. You know this one? You know, you go out, oh, let's just get some drinks and appetizers. You know, with the one you're not too serious about. You've been down this road before, and you're at the bar Valentine's Day, and you're kind of giving the look around because you're like, if something else catches my eye, I'm out. And
Slide on out of there.
And that is Nick Williams, because if any other player even resembles a right fielder, the Sox are going to be like, wait, we had our eye on Mick Rodolfo or Blake Rutherford or whoever for so long. We're darting out the door with them. Sorry, Nick, you're paying for your own drinks.
It's outstanding.
Gotta go.
All right. Emilio Vargas, he was gone, and now he's back. Beef, I'll start with you.
Baby. Emilio Vargas, it's one of those things where I don't know why I'm drawn to this. I can't figure it out. There's nothing overtly attractive to me. Maybe it's the unknown. You know, you always kind of like the unknown. I just have this animal magnetism towards someone. I can't square it in my head, so I just want to go for it. That's how I feel about Vargas. I feel like Vargas is the type of player that comes out of fucking nowhere, goes 8-1 down the stretch for the Sox, and has a gigantic role in like the White Sox making the playoffs. And they almost lost him. Like you mentioned, Treasy, they almost didn't have him on the roster. They kind of had to mess around, and then he slid back in. There's something exotic about him that I'm extremely interested in. I just can't put my finger on it. I don't know. He's just a regular ass right-hand pitcher, but I'm interested. I want him.
All right. My Sox summer.
I also, same deal. Loved him in Men at Work and Mighty Ducks. I thought he was a great actor. I don't know how he's gonna transition into the baseball world or like become part of this team.
His brother's a good pitcher, though.
His brother's a very good pitcher and has beaten the AIDS so far. So that's really good on him. No, like literally, I didn't even want to look this guy up. After I saw his name, I was like, I can make the Emilio Estevez joke. Like, I don't even have to look into this. Now I'm looking him up. He's not even like, he doesn't come up when you have Baseball Reference. Like when you search him, you have to like go in and like find him. Like he doesn't just pop up.
He doesn't pop up immediately. That's usually not a good sign.
Not a good sign. So I'm definitely breaking out the craft porn for my man. My man Emilio is getting the craft porn. It's going to be some shit, probably casting. That seems to be big on the button right now. The weird casting stuff that like I'm not really into that whole like I'm tricking you casting thing. It's just like for some reason they seem to get fresh girls, and like my Sox summer likes fresh girls every once in a while. So
I didn't. All right. Hard to predict
in my porn.
I'm just gonna back away from that one.
Why? How's that wrong?
It just sounded weird.
My wife's not coming downstairs, so I'm still okay. Hopefully she's in bed.
So I'm looking at this, right? And like he's a young dude. He's got the middling fastball, like it's mid 90s, right? And then, but supposedly he's got a knockout slider, right? Which is exciting, right? So he's young. There's a little bit of excitement, but we just broke up. Now we're back together.
Yeah.
And so I'm feeling very, very like high schoolish, like late high school, early college
same level
style. Yep. So we're going to Outback Steakhouse.
Yes.
That's better than I thought. Better than I thought.
We're getting burgers at Outback Steakhouse.
Okay.
I will, however, I'll throw down for a bloomin' onion. Man,
those are so good too.
They're delicious, but they're risky, man. That's risky on a date, in my opinion. Only two of you, and to take the whole bloomin' onion down, that feels a little risky. You know,
it's a risk, but you know that's what we're getting into, man. You gotta see what this looks like. But
you gotta take some chances.
Yeah, I mean, which this guy is, right? Like who are you gonna knock off the 40 for this dude, right? But if you knock someone off, if he's looking good, that slider's looking nice, if it's breaking and people are swinging and missing, like you kind of want this guy on the roster. And so that's why I'm going to take him somewhere nice, but we ain't going to spend. So
I like that. I like that very much.
all right, now the last one, who I know we all had to look up because I had no fucking clue who this was. One Matt Reynolds, who ain't young.
No.
My sock summer. Lay on all of your Matt Reynolds knowledge.
Again, I was somewhat confused because the first one that comes up, stopped playing baseball in 2016. And I know that things have been weird. So I was like, well, maybe, he just had some rough goes and like whatever. And then I found the one that we're actually looking at, I'm assuming, which is the pinch hitter, third baseman, shortstop from the Royals, right? That has a very
that was my guess too. That's what we're talking about.
Yeah. He's like, looks like he has to take a shit in his picture. Not necessarily something that I think is great.
Pretty good.
Again, the WAR is leaves a lot less left to be desired, but it's only a negative 0.2 WAR for 2020. He only had 11 at bats, so he couldn't do a lot of damage. His career is a negative 0.7. Again, like it's just like it's whoever. Like it's not even that. It's not a blip. It's not registering anything for me. So yeah, I don't want to say craft porn because I don't think as a pinch hitter, utility infielder, like I don't need to go that big, right? But I can like something that I like give me some big ass, big titty, something, I don't know, like something that's readily available on Spank Bang, just like first page. Like I'm not going deep, right? I don't have to go deep, like it would just be right there. So I don't have to go 4 pages in and see what I see. I could just go with what's listed available and just make a call, So
Teresa, he sounded like John Slade talking about Bell Brown for a second there.
He did.
he was channeling that. He was going right down that path.
To do this thing with a tongue. That's my mother.
Big old round brown soft.
Beef.
You know what I'm talking about.
Beef, how are you feeling about one Matt Reynolds?
I mean, Matt Reynolds, I'm not even remotely interested, but I go over there to talk to Matt Reynolds anyway. And his breath smells like egg salad. So I'm way out, and I'm as limp as Ron Jeremy has been the last 2 decades. That's where I'm at with Matt Reynolds. Like, pack your bags, you're out of here.
Man,
so when I first read this, I thought it was Mark Reynolds, and then
yes.
And then I was like, well, maybe it's Mark Reynolds' son.
Mm-hmm.
I was wrong on both accounts.
It's not.
But so what it felt like, because I have no idea who this dude is, and he's in his 30s.
Yep.
Felt like a blind date. I'm feeling like a Valentine's Day blind date.
Oof.
Which is it's a sketchy endeavor. And so here's how it's going to go down. I'm going to let Matt Reynolds pick the joint, and I'll say, hey, I'm going to be the Hispanic guy in the black button-down shirt, right? Then I send Vinny Baseball in ahead of me in a black button-down shirt. Wait for the reaction so that Vinny Baseball can eye out who the blind date is. And he just walks by, because he's not the date. And then he texts me, let me know if I should go in there, right? So
I love this. This is great.
So
good call.
That's how I'm approaching one Matt Reynolds for Valentine's Day. And I'm going to guess that text is not going to be positive. And we will see less of Matt Reynolds than we saw of Chelsea Cuthbert or whatever the hell that guy is.
My guy.
Cuthbert.
It made me sneeze.
Cuthbert.
Cuthbert.
Not good.
I could never remember what that guy's name was. Is it Chelsea or Chesler?
I think it's
Chancellor.
It's not Chancellor.
I don't know.
Don't talk about our Chancellor yet.
That's true. That's coming up.
Quiet about that.
Well, not tonight, but it's coming up soon.
Yeah, we'll get to it.
Well, all right, guys. That was it, man. That's the show. Before I keep sneezing continuously, we'll
end it here.
But yeah, I think we've got some 108 turning stuff coming up very soon.
Yep.
We got a whole bunch of things. I did talk to the guys after, we talked about this last week. I have this idea. I talked to the fellas. They're in for it.
Yep.
Talked to a couple other people. Seems like they're in for it. It's going to be kind of silly, but I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
I like it. I like
and
this
you
idea.
guys will be in for it once we announce it. So
Oh yes,
100%.
I don't
the
have
audience
any
is gonna
doubt
love it.
The people that are commenting right now will be up for this. But
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
excited for it, and we'll be putting that together right alongside the 108 tourney, and that shit's all coming very soon. So
Yeah.
be ready for it. We're excited.
I'm going to do the final draft of the 108 tourney field this weekend. And then after that, there's some ability to get in there, but it's getting real tight. We're kind of getting down to the end here.
Like January is like 2 months. February is like half a month. Like
Yes.
we're halfway through February already. So like shit's like steamrolling right now. Like, so yeah, just be ready. Cause you guys start making your plays, go on to Cameo. I can give you an endorsement. 100% will not get you in the tournament unless you already are, but you should do it anyway because it's it's not that expensive and you probably will enjoy it. And I enjoyed doing them. That's fun. So, and if you have anybody that needs a Valentine's Day greeting, I'm more than willing to do that when I'm sitting around my house tomorrow, possibly hungover. So yeah, it'll be great.
All right, man. Thanks a lot.